nasty big old pile of paint. And who knows, just come up in here and just go crazy. All we're really worried about is what the top edge of our mountain looks like. Right? That just the top line. Ooh, this guy got crazy tall. All right, just how do you want yours to look? Pull it off. Maybe he's got a whole nother hump out here. Who knows? But the more you mix it with that underpaint, the lighter it becomes, right? And we're gonna scrape off some of that area because we don't need all that craziness. Maybe we come over here too. Why not? Why not? Just make it everywhere, Josh. Just pull it everywhere. Right? Get this big old enormous mountain to come out and just say hello. Hello! Oh, there we go. A little chunk of paint right there. All right, now, with our 1-inch brush, you can control this mountain. You get to tell it where it lives, right? So just based off of our pressure, we can start to pull it out. You can go all the way to the edge if you want. You can come up here, you can turn, and kind of going with those same angles, just like that, right? Maybe we take this guy and we swipe him down the other way because your mountain doesn't just have to be one direction, right? It's not a band. It doesn't have to be one direction. Oh my goodness. I know, Josh, you're hysterical. I know. But looks aren't everything, right? Doesn't matter how funny you look. Ah, you clown. Okay, we're going to come back here. These guys are going to come straight down because I love this like sheer cliff right back there. I'm going to pull this guy off the backside. All right, maybe we take him down. A little bit more pressure to pull out. All right, probably need some more paint to keep it nice and dark. Try to show you the idea of what the mountain might look like by the time we get done, right? You got a couple little things here. All these little different directional swipies. Maybe it ends up over on this side, and all of a sudden we got this ginormous mountain that just lives out here, waiting for us to highlight it, right? Just crazy. However you want it to be. That's how it's going to be. It doesn't have to be. Like, there is no specific shape for the mountain. There's nothing in the rule book, quote unquote, that says you have to do a mountain just like this, and it must look like this every time. Well, not around the Paint with Josh world. We make different mountains, we make crazy mountains, we make all sorts of mountains, right? So we've taken our white paint and the blue paint, white paint, blue paint, mixed it up into our shadowy mix, and then took a slight bit of our dark color that we created our mountain with, mixed it up into our snowy highlights, and then we'll come in here and just go chapla! Just straight down that sheer cliff. Hoo-yah! Wherever you want to be. Badoosh! Skaboom! Over here, maybe we got some shadow off the backside of these cliffs, just so lightly, right? Just holding the knife at the proper angle, very flat to the canvas. Most of the time I get paint on my fingertips, right? I'm just letting it rip down that way, breaking in all these crazy directions, right? Wherever you lay it is where it's going to be. Now, let's say maybe we had just a bit more down there, and then maybe our whole little thing, our ridge hit, started going down this way to meet up with this little buddy, right? You never know. Never know what it's going to look like, so drop some paint out there, and let's see. Let's see where we go. All right, so let's get a little bit of white. Well, a lot of bit of white. A lot of bit of white. Little bit of blue. Just the teeniest little bit. Then we'll mix it up down here. Now, it's going to be off-white. It's not the most purest white that you've ever seen because you just saw me mix it with some blue, right? You just saw me do it. Now remember, this painting is available for sale. You can purchase it at paintwithjosh.etsy.com, and go check out paintwithjosh.com, because if you like the look of paintwithjosh.com, my best bud, London, over at Crappy Candles, did my website, and she can do your small business website as well. Let's come up here, whip that guy down like that. Right? However we pull it is how it's gonna be. Look at that. Whipping it down. All these crazy little breaks and different little things. Now, my favorite part about doing a mountain like this is the wicked, sheer spires of snow that you can get up to come up out of there and just get all crazy sharp. Maybe it fell off that way. Wow, that's a fiery mountain right there. If you ever done, ask me. Bang, right off the backside of him. Get a whole little, like we ripped a whole chunk of mountain right out of that guy. Just fantastic. And it whipped down in its little ways. You never know what's all going to be shadowy, what's not, so you don't have to make it perfect. There is no quote-unquote perfect. That's a perfect mountain if you ask me. Holy hell. What a mountain, they said. What a mountain, they said. You know what? Actually, what if we had a little bit of that light color? Just pop over here. Just a little grab. Whoosh, right over the edge. Woo, baby. Woo, baby. Man, that's a fiery mountain. All right, now let's come up here and grab a whole new 2-inch brush. All right? This is the Paint with Bram 2-inch brush. Very similar to the Bob Ross 2-inch brush. And all we're going to do is start to soften all of those details as we start sliding out very lightly, right? Say we had our knife. We were holding our knife like this and we were doing our mountains this way. We have to go the opposite way with our brush, right? So however you came down with your knife, you go the opposite way very lightly with just the smallest, slightest touch that you can possibly do. Bob Ross had a good saying for his, but I don't use the same. I like to say you gotta touch it just like you're just going to check on a sleeping baby, right? You're like, okay, I gotta go check on the baby, but I don't want to wake him up, so I just want to see if he's alive. We'll just graze just as softly as you can on his cheek, right? Because you don't want to wake him up, because if you wake up the baby, then we can't paint anymore, and we got to go back to babysitting, and that's no fun. We're going to come in here, and we're going to tap in and start pushing out, just like a typewriter. So you're tapping with just the corner, extending it, pushing out each way. We're building more bit of mountain that you just can't see. It's so foggy over there, you just can't see it. Right now, as we were coming out, we were rotating, right? So down here, it's just like a clock. We're about 6 o'clock. Now we're about 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30 even, right? Just dabbing up into our snow, dragging it down, creating some little misty, soft little areas. Come up in here very lightly, mushing it back up, turning the brush, going back up the opposite way, just like a clock, all the way around. All the way around, like a little pendulum. Look at that. Whoo, that's a fiery little mountain.